This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the movie Porco Rosso. Joel.
Yes, Andrew.
Did you know that the anime Haiku was created with the intention of making volleyball in Japan more popular?
Do what?
The anime Haiku, Haikyuu.
Yes, love that anime.
It was made for, and it actually did have a 60% increase in Japanese after-school programs gravitating towards volleyball.
So is this your anime alley?
Yes,
fact?
we're already in the alley.
Dude, we're in there. I didn't even know. I'm still stuck in the alley from last week, Andrew.
Deep in Andrew's anime alley of anime fun facts, or whatever the fuck I call it.
I took one piece of candy. I've never left. Dude, I 100% believe it, because that anime is so good.
It's, this is how I know you're an anime fan, because it's like you're a grown man. You've been a grown man for quite some time, but you're like, no, I'll watch this one anime about volleyball for fun.
It gave me a new level of respect to volleyball.
Okay.
To the point where now, if I watch volleyball, I am like, this is insane. Like, the level of talent it actually takes,
right.
It gave me a level of understanding and respect to volleyball and the effort that goes into these players being that good.
Okay. I mean, it's a hell of an Olympic sport. I know that.
It is. But, Andrew, I don't think we're talking about volleyball this week.
No, we're talking about some pork.
And some pigs.
Some pigs. Well, pig.
A pig.
One pig. One pig.
Pig.
A pig by the name of Porco Rosso. And I love this style of movie. Where it's just like, we're already in it. Like, we're already in his life. Like, he's been a pig for a while, or he is a pig and he's the only sentient pig on planet Earth. We don't know. What I love about this movie, you don't learn why he's a pig until at least a good 30 minutes in, that he was once a man.
Well, yeah.
You do because of the picture.
Yeah.
But you don't learn how he got turned into a pig till like almost near the end of the movie.
Actually,
and then it's a pretty vague explanation.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is that even the reason why he got turned into a pig?
Yes, I don't know. It's got some of that Miyazaki charm that you're just like, it's almost like you just have to just be like, he's a pig. Get over it. And you're like,
the rest of the world accepts the fact that he is a pig and loves him for it.
Almost immediate, like world famous almost. But then again, I feel like if there was an aerial acrobatic pirate fighting pig, we'd probably like him. Yeah, we'd probably love him. Yeah, he'd probably be cool.
I mean, we had Dog the Bounty Hunter and everybody loved him.
That's true, but he wasn't. I mean, he was a pig in some sense of the word. Boom.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he wasn't too far off. He just didn't look like a.
No,
a pig.
what was that one? It was I don't know if it was Saturday Night Live or some sketch comedy show where it was like he was being interviewed by Larry Bird. Not Larry Bird. Larry Live with Larry. Fucking who's the old guy with suspenders? Larry King. Larry King. So it's like a sketch comedy, and he's like, somehow he makes Doug the bounty hunter cry. He's like, and he goes, "Please stop crying. You look like a Sasquatch that accidentally killed a bird, and he doesn't understand death."
If we can love Dog the Bounty Hunter, we would have loved Porco.
We would have loved Porco 110%.
Yes.
But, well, there's no musical number in Porco.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just a movie. We can just go, yeah.
Miyazaki film. It's, spoilers. This is a Miyazaki film.
Early one, though.
Yes.
I feel like this is like, I mean, it's before Spirited Away, obviously, but it's like, this is like one of those where it's like, this shit's not popular over here yet. Like this is one you retroactively watch later, if at all.
This one actually came on the heels of Kiki's delivery service.
Yeah. Kiki's another one that it's like, I think that one's you go back to it too. Like everybody's, I feel like, and this is just from like our generation in the West, because it's like the other, we have parents that are like Miyazaki fans now. So it's like they'll let their kids watch an order. But I feel for us, it's like you got the big three: Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, or Princess Mononoke. When you were growing up, one of those three was how you learned about Studio Ghibli. And then you learned about the other ones, and you learned about the other two. And then you went back and you maybe watched Porco Rosso or Kiki or something like that.
Which of the three, because I agree, which of the three was your introduction, Andrew?
Howl's Moving Castle.
Really?
I was a big fan of Billy Crystal. When I saw that he was a fireball, I was interested.
Okay.
So I watched it. And you know me, I'm a big fan of food.
Oh, yes,
delicious food. Not so much in Porco Rosso. I don't think they had gotten that trend yet where they're just making tasty, tasty food.
I got you.
But yeah, that's what a Miyazaki film means to me. Is like, I would even say that people retroactively went back and watched Totoro from our generation, from the millennial generation.
Oh no, no, it really was. It was those three that you mentioned,
right?
And if you fell in love with Studio Ghibli films, you went back and watched his other works.
And I feel like Porco Rosso is correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like Porco Rosso might be the most obscure out of all of them.
It is.
I think it's the least, I would say it's the least popular.
Well, it seems like, and I know Miyazaki has always kind of talked about this. It's like every film he does, it's like it's got a female protagonist in it. This one is strange because it doesn't focus really on like a female main character.
Not till later.
I would call that
even then.
She feels more like a side character, not even a main character.
She does the end narration. That's it.
Yep.
That's where you learn about everything. So that is interesting to think about because they're all female driven movies, except for Porco Rosso.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of maybe Ponyo. Ponyo's kind of a duel because it's like between that little boy and Ponyo herself.
Yeah.
But let's how did Porco Rosso get made, Joel?
So Andrew, this is actually based off of Miyazaki's
Pet
manga.
pig. Oh,
Pet pig, yes, pet pig.
Who fought in World War One.
It's actually based off of his manga that the English name was The Age of the Flying Boat. Now, this manga, it was a 15-page all watercolor manga that was published in a magazine called Model Graphics, which was a monthly magazine about scale models.
No wonder that man's fucking miserable. I don't think he's ever half-assed a thing a day in a watercolor manga.
A watercolor manga.
That's nuts.
Right? But that's his style, man.
Dude, like,
I'm all for
why he hates the Beatles.
I'm all for it. Even the animation in this movie was just
it's top notch.
Amazing.
I love everything about Miyazaki. Like, his personality is like, he don't give a fuck. He is the human form personification of that Jeremy Clarkson quote where first we'll do it my way and then we'll finish. That's Miyazaki is that in human form, because he does not compromise with anything.
No. Now, this was actually a part of it gets better, okay? So 15-page watercolor manga in a scale modeling magazine that was ultimately a part of something called his Hayao Miyazaki's Daydream Data Notes.
Okay.
This was a name for his collection of annotated manga and illustrated essays that he would give to Model Graphics. These, the Daydream Data Notes was some of his earliest works, ranging back from when he was even a child.
Okay.
And he had a big fascination, and this kind of explains the theme of like aerial combat being, planes, because that's got a big subject in this movie. But he was very interested in tanks, planes, all these war-related stuff, because he was born in 1941 in Japan.
Yeah.
Off the hills of WW2.
Absolutely, yeah.
So he did a lot of drawings of tanks, all this. Before I, pivot, go back to the movie, I did find something about this Daydream Data Notes that I thought was pretty cool. The actual creator of the video game Metal Slug, Kasuma Kujo, has actually stated that this Daydream Data Notes inspired the like art style of the game Metal Slug.
Okay.
And if you look at,
have an interesting art style.
If you look at just some pictures from this Daydream journal, basically, you can see it. It reads like Metal Slug.
Nice.
So Miyazaki had done this. We kind of mentioned that this did the Daydream journal in the modeling magazine off of the heels of Kiki's Delivery Service, which was big in Japan. He decides that he needs to make something to just satisfy people So he originally was going to make a 30-minute, like direct to TV, direct to VHS movie about old Porco Hill.
Well, it wasn't just direct to VHS.
Well,
it was supposed to be an in-flight movie.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up.
You better say that. Okay.
Yeah, at first it was supposed to be a direct to like TV, right? Now, he started doing this. Production began in 1989. The following winter, the producer, Toshio Suzuki, suggested to Miyazaki, hey, why don't we distribute this to airlines because it's got planes in it? And they was just like, genius.
Well, you know, it was the 80s when this thing was in production. You know,
true.
It's super crazy.
But even just that concept that you're just like, hey, we're making this movie. Let's pitch it to an airline.
Why do you guys want to put this in an airplane? It's about planes. Oh and
yes.
A pig. What?
It made me think about Madagascar 2.
Oh, yeah.
King Julian and them are just watching videos of airplanes crashing.
Yeah.
So they pitched this idea to Japan Airlines and they ate it up. It then,
of course they did.
It became the first in-flight feature film production. Now,
because again, it's like 1980 something when this is in production, and you're like, "Hey, you want to meet? You know the guy who made Kiki's Delivery Service?
Yeah, you remember how much money that made?
He wants to make a film for your airline.
You put this in.
Oh my God!
People will they won't even go anywhere. They will just get on a plane to watch this.
People will buy tickets to places they don't even want to go, buddy. And they'll be stranded there.
They'll land.
They'll watch it to and fro. 30-minute flights.
They'll land, get back on a returning flight just because
that is kind of wild to think about, given with today's technology, because it's just like, hey, here's Netflix on a plane, where it's just like, you used to have to like make a movie for the airplane. Like,
so in November of 1990, production actually resumed because it had halted at this point after the pitch to Japan Airlines, because the film started getting too expensive.
As a Miyazaki film is wont to do.
Yes, the production resumed. It had an initial budget. I don't think I mentioned this, Andrew.
Not yet.
Their initial budget was 200 million yen.
Okay.
So that would be roughly about, in today's dollars, which I don't think the yen has really changed too much in compared to the USD.
Right.
But that would be like 1.2 million USD.
Okay.
So, and had the original runtime of 30 minutes, right?
Okay.
Well, Miyazaki, being the, perfectionist he is, we'll call it, apparently 30 minutes wasn't enough for him.
Oh, yeah.
A year later, in 1991, he extended the runtime to 45 minutes.
Okay.
And as the production kept going, the storyboard for this movie kept growing to the point where it later then became an hour runtime, which at that point, they was just like, well, if this movie's going to be an hour, remember, this was just like...
This was supposed to be an in-flight film.
It was an in-flight film. It was supposed to be the placeholder between Kiki's Delivery Service and his next feature film. But they were just like, well, man, you got it up to an hour. It's already your next feature film.
Yeah.
Let's talk about theater releases.
Wow.
So it then started, they started talking about theater releases, but they still kept the Japan Airlines deal. They wasn't taking that away. So now we're getting more like, hey, now it's, it's not hopping from connector flights kind of film.
Yeah.
This is cross-country film territory.
You go into the mainland continent.
Yeah, exactly. So they paused the production of it while the theater release negotiations were going on. The storyboard kept progressing. It didn't expand the time, but Miyazaki, he experienced issues with the storyboards, and it was mainly around the just kind of to, I guess, build the characters of Porco and everything else. This is where he came up with the idea to introduce the character Gina to kind of give more of a relationship to Porco. Even Porco's curse, even the daydream sequence, all was to kind of flush out the Porco character.
Now, the daydream sequence, are you talking about the ghost plane scene?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that was inspired by a passage in the Roald Dahl story?
Which story?
I don't know. I didn't look that part up.
Okay. Well,
then I'm pretty sure I didn't pronounce that guy's name right. But yeah,
sounds good enough to me.
This also was originally supposed to be a comedy. That's what I found interesting.
So, all right. So that's.
And I have a little bit of a question about that when we start talking about the movie.
Okay. So the production yet again was kind of slowed down. Or not. Okay, let me backtrack that. The production had a shadow that was cast over it because of the war in Yugoslavia had kind of broken out at this time.
Okay.
And this is pretty heavy war-related themes.
It's not heavy war-related themes. It's war-related themes.
Exactly. So it did put kind of a damper on the production because it is like, hey, we just made Kiki's Delivery Service, and now we're talking about war?
Yeah. I mean, it's about a Mussolini. It's between like the very, very tense years between World War I and World War II. Mussolini is in the movie taking, like, his reign of power is starting.
Yep.
Like, the only thing they hide it from is they don't say Mussolini.
Yep.
And they, they don't show him. There's not a Miyazaki rendition of Mussolini. Although I would love to see what that looks like.
But that's the creation of this. After all production was done, it released July 18th of 1992 in Japan. It did make its way over to the US thanks to Walt Disney Home Entertainment.
Yeah. Well, they've been doing hand in hand Miyazaki films forever. So.
Yeah. But that's it, Andrew. Now
they have Michael Keaton fucking voices Porco Rosso.
I don't know. Like, the voice acting in this movie, I don't know if it's good or bad, if that makes sense.
There's actually a pretty interesting fact about the voice cast.
Okay.
More or less. So Miyazaki actually prefers the French dub out of all of the renditions of Porco Rosso.
Really?
Yeah.
There was like 7.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that in the opening movie. They had 7 different languages.
7 different languages. Yes, actually, I would like to comment on that in this week's episode of Andrew's Fucking Stupid. As they're going off, I'm like, I couldn't find English. I'm like, where the fuck is it? I had to rewind that stupid thing like 3 times. I'm kind of, being vulnerable here about how I have very poor reading skills. And then another thing, it's like all the birds are going from left to right except for one, and I'm pretty sure that's a Japanese kanji. And
it's Arabic.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Do they also read from right to left too?
Yeah, they read from right to left.
And I was like, oh well, there you go. We get a twofer. So, but no. So with the voice cast, I heard some very familiar voices. Like Kath Sochi is definitely in it.
Yeah.
Fuck, what is that guy's name?
The dude that played the one bearded pirate dude.
Yeah, that's it's Brian something.
I like his voice. I'm like, I know this voice. He's on everything, but I can't remember his name.
Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett. Yeah, Brad Garrett. And then the guy who voices Jumba is the engineer, and that is David Audigat. It's got voice actors. So Michael Keaton's the one famous guy, and then they have the people who their career were voice actors, which I appreciated a lot in this film. And without looking up the voice cast, it took me a while till it dawned on me that I'm like, that's Michael Keaton. It took me a while into the movie. It's like, because you know how Michael Keaton has that mild lisp?
Yeah.
But when he's acting, he doesn't, sometimes he hides it. And so Porco Rosso is talking, and then you hear it, and I hear that slight little lisp that he has. I'm like, wait a minute. Is that Michael Keaton? Sure enough.
Is that Batman?
Is that Batman as a pig?
Is that Batman?
Is that Pigman? So yeah, there you go. So yeah, let's get into this. Do you think, because I couldn't find this, when they're sitting in the theater and, a lot of my leftist friends use Porco's quote for this, but the film that they're watching from him when he's in Italy, this is way into the movie, so we're going to be a little out of order. Do you think that movie is kind of what the original idea of the Japanese film that was supposed to be the 30-minute comedy would have been? Where that cat is having a dog fight with the pig?
Honestly, probably, because my understanding, the manga compared to this,
it's different.
It is different. They do have some differences, but it didn't go into the fascismness of this.
No, yeah.
So,
the movie theater scene where Mussolini has essentially he's in power, and his friend Fieri, he's like, I got power now, you can come back to you can work for the Italian military. And he's like, I'm a pig. I may be a pig, but I'm not a fascist. I know a lot of my hardcore leftist friends love to use that quote.
Well, I'm not a pig.
I'm a pig, but I'm not a fascist.
Okay.
It's a good quote. It's a good quote. So one thing that I love about this movie, from the start, there's hardly one you do not learn what happened to Porco Rosso for like, I would say about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And so for all you know, and I would say for like what, the first 30 minutes, like you're like, okay, this world just has
a pig,
an ace pilot. That's a pig. Cool.
Always like, been a pig.
Yeah, he's always been a pig. In your mind, he's always been a pig.
Oh.
Then he goes to the bar.
Yep.
And then the bar, that's when you learn that, okay, he was cursed. And it's just like,
Gina mentions something about a curse.
Because he crossed out his face. And you're like, oh, okay, he was cursed to be a pig. And it's like, we don't know how yet, but we do know he was cursed. Also, the guy who is voicing the American, Mr. Curtis, sounds ridiculous.
Oh, it is. I feel like, okay, I feel like people in other countries, that would be the accent they would use to make fun of Americans.
Yeah, that's because he's like, what in tarnation? I'm going to marry me that French girl, but she'll have to sing in English in case she comes stateside. And you're like, oh, is that really how we're portrayed everywhere? But now, yes, he's a famous pilot, and the pirates, I thought it was kind of interesting that like the pirates hired him to shoot down Porco Rosso. And also, I thought it was pretty funny that he's like, at the very beginning of the movie, he's like, I got to fix this plane.
Yeah. He's so strapped for cash because apparently he's a
bounty hunter.
It is odd the Anno, like Anno has a big play to do in this movie. Even with the pirates, even with the bounty hunters, there was like an honor code they all live up to the point where he's a bounty hunter, the like most famous bounty hunter ever, but he ain't making a lot of dough. Apparently.
He ain't making a lot of dough. Also, he's not a killer, which you don't learn till way later.
Oh, at like the end of the movie.
You learn it at like the end of the movie where it's like
they hint at it at the beginning.
They hint at it a little bit, but he's like, but he threatens them. He's like, I'll let you live and let you keep some of this gold so you can fix your plane. Because those pirates, which I thought was pretty funny, where it's like the main pirate who's voiced by Brad Garrett. He's just like, he's like, we got to take them all. It wouldn't be nice to separate them.
Oh, you're talking about how like
when they steal all the there's like 15 schoolgirls and they steal all of them. And he goes, it wouldn't be right to separate them from their friends.
I was laughing so hard. I'm like, these pirates, like they are the nicest.
Now, was this your first time watching Porco Rosso too? Okay, see, I've always wanted to watch it, but I was like, it's like kicking a can down the road.
But that's why I'm like, even these pirates.
Oh like, everybody.
They live by a code of honor. Like they are taking young schoolgirls, and I'm talking about like elementary school.
Yeah, they're like
children.
They're 5 or 6 at the
they are taking children hostages. And the children aren't even that afraid of the pirates. They were making jokes to the pirates.
They're talking shit to them.
Yeah, like when you smell bad.
You smell bad. And then there was one where it's like they're trying to shoot down Porco, and the girl's like, he's a way better pilot than you are at aiming. He's like, shut up. And even then, where it's like, so they get shot down, and the little girls just decide to jump in the middle of the ocean. The pirate boss is even concerned because he's like, don't jump in the ocean. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's okay. We're all a part of swim club. And they all just have fun in the ocean. It's like, there's a dog fight happening still. Porco comes around and is like, I'm going to kill you.
Threatening them, basically. Yep.
Yeah. I do. It's like, I I do think it's funny how like they argued through Morse code through the lights and stuff.
Yep. I thought
it's just cool, a very charming world building environment that you always get from a Miyazaki film. And then like but you know, okay. we fast forward. So I do remember that it's like, so, you know, him and Curtis have that dog fight because, like, you know, this movie's got a very, I don't know how, do you know much about like how Southern literature is done, where it's like a good example is No Country for Old Men.
Okay,
so No Country for Old Men is a great example of how Southern authors would. It's not like you're in the story. It's almost like when you read a book made by a lot of like Southern authors, that story has been happening without you.
Yeah.
Which is a lot how Porco Rosso is done. So it's like everybody's got like this backstory and all this stuff. And it's like you're just meant to like use your context clues. Like obviously there's a relationship between Porco and Gina, and there's all this like you, I mean, hell, you barely like you can pick up the clues that he was an Italian pilot, but you don't really learn that till he's like, I have to go back to Italy to repair my plane to get a rematch with Curtis.
Yeah.
And like, she's like, I don't care how good this mechanic is. You are not going there.
You are a wanted man in Italy.
You are a wanted man in Italy. And you're like, why is he a wanted man in Italy? It's like, well, he's a deserter because Mussolini came in with a fascist, you know, takeover of the Italian government. And
it keeps you interested because you're always like wondering, like you always want answers.
Yeah, you want, and you never get them. And that's why this movie ends almost perfectly, I would say.
Yes.
Because it's like, it's, you know, and it comes from we're a little spoiled when it comes to writing in this generation. We don't have a lot of ambiguity anymore, which is something that I appreciate in old. I appreciate it in old literature, and I appreciate it in old cinema, where it's like you don't get the ending because it's better. It makes you think about it more. So
your imagination can run wild.
You can fill in the gaps.
Yeah, it's like
get off your damn phone and watch the movie.
It's like a horror movie where it never shows you the monster you're scared of.
Right.
But lets your imagination just each individual imagination think of the most like scariest thing you can think of.
So, you know, he gets into like somewhat of he hides his plane and he gets it repaired, and that's when he talks to his friend Ferrari. And that's when we meet her name's Mia, I think.
Fio,
the little girl, the genius engineer who's like 17 years old. And we also a lot of people be checking Porco on the sexism, which is pretty rare in the 40s when this movie was set.
No, this movie is set in the 20s.
That's right. It's set in the 20s. We're not even we're not near World War II at all yet.
No.
And it's really funny because he's like, the Fio comes up. She's like, well, do you not want me to work on your plane because I'm a girl or because I'm young? He's like, actually, it's both.
and she accepts the fact that it's because she's a woman, but she was just like, hey,
oh yeah, people check Porco a lot in this movie.
Did this whole thing about like, all right, fine, I'm a woman, who cares? But the experience, that's what she got offended over.
Yeah, because it's like you were a pilot when you were 17 and you didn't have any experience. You also learn a lot about Porco's plane in this scene of the movie where it's like, Only one of them was ever built because it's an insane engineering overhaul, and it's actually very hard to control this particular plane. Like you have to
he had the skill to do it.
He's like one of the few pilots to do it. And so they rebuild the plane, and the secret police are on his ass. So it's like, they're like, we got to test the plane. And he's like, no, we don't. We got to go now.
We got to leave. What are you talking about?
And that's when we learn where Theo, Theo is like, he's like, I'm coming with. And he's like that Jason Bateman in movie about identity theft. He's like, the fuck you are.
What?
But but it ends up, he's like, I've been alone for many years, and you're 17. It's a little weird the way they kind of phrase this, because he's like, I've been alone on an island for, you really want to be alone on this island with me? I could get you. And you're like, Porco, I'm sure that there are better ways to divert her away from you than threatening sexual assault, first of all.
So, okay, I saw a comment that mirrored that statement. But to me, I am like, Porco, I think that was more like fatherly advice in a sense.
Maybe.
Kind of like,
he's a lot better than Curtis.
Well, yes.
Curtis and Porco share a lot of parallels, especially with the woman that they're interested in.
Curtis wanted to marry this 17-year-old girl on the spot. Porco didn't want anything to do with her.
No, he wanted to keep her there. I mean, he probably was just doing it as like a scared straight thing. Yeah, because I don't think Porco was ever really good at, even though he's like, I'm a known womanizer, stuff like that. Like, I think he was just trying to be like, okay, maybe I can spook this kid.
To me, it was that fatherly advice of like, you shouldn't be running off with a middle-aged man to a deserted island.
Yeah. Which fair.
It's good advice.
A lot of good points.
Yeah, right.
Curtis, on the other hand, is like, I heard that French lady sing a song once. I'm going to propose to her.
Yeah.
And then I got a movie picture deal, so I'm going to talk to her again in the garden. And she's like, I've been waiting. She's like, I'm not going to marry you. Calls him a little boy, because he was acting a little bit like a child. He's like, look at all this stuff I got. You want to marry me? He's like, no woman on earth worth marrying would be impressed by that. And then she's like, no, the man I marry is supposed to meet me in this garden during the day. And he's like, but that fool only comes at night.
Apparently the fourth man she was supposed to marry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Gina's a kind of an indirect Black Widow, we learned at the beginning of the movie.
Apparently she loves pilots.
That is true. I forgot about that. And so they go to the island, and all the pirates are there, and they're like, fuck you, Porco. We're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
How dare you be better than us? And Porco's like, hey, don't get mad. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And so they're about to kill him. Theo steps in. She's like, you guys have to be honorable. You guys are seaplane pirates. You guys are the best of the sea and the air. You're basically angels. And Brad Garrett's character is just like
moved.
He's so passionately moved. They're just like, they also don't understand why she's on the island, which is pretty funny. They're like, did he kidnap you?
Yeah. You're an engineer. Like, what? You're a woman.
Yeah, you're a woman and pretty and young. And he's like, they're a really good, she's a really good engineer. That's why she's here. And so that's also when Curtis shows up and he goes, I see you're a pig ass. Got your plane all fixed. You ready for round 2? Which he did not win the first round, but he got to have bragging rights because Porco's engine broke.
Yeah.
He goes, you didn't shoot shit. And so the fight happens. The dog fight happens. Really well animated dog fight.
Oh, great and, animation. Apparently, the whole town toned out for this.
They are showing up. They're placing side bets, but the big bet is Porco. Theo has decided to step up, and she's like, I'll marry you if Porco loses, but if you lose, you have to pay Porco's bill. And so they get in the dog fight. This is where we learn that, like, apparently, I don't even remember, Brett, the pirate captain's name, our captain. He's like, Porco won't actually kill him because he had the shot. He was like, I could just put a bullet through your head right now. He's like, no, Porco likes to shoot out the engine. He doesn't really like to kill anybody, not since the war. And we also learned before the fight that Porco, all these planes were going up, and it was a metaphor for dying.
Yeah,
Porco didn't die, but
he told some story about being in a dogfight in World War One, and basically, like, kind of went to the afterlife, saw all of his buddies and the people they was fighting fly off to heaven in a sense.
Yeah, but he didn't go, and I guess God turned him into a pig.
I guess. You still never learn the code.
No, that's about that description that we gave is about as he's like, yeah, and when I woke up, I was a pig. And you're like, what? Okay.
I really, this whole movie, up until that point, I'm like, okay, because the whole movie, he himself, like, is self-deprecating, talking about how he's a pig, he's a womanizer. Yeah. So I thought there was going to be some, like, witch that put a curse on him.
Oh, yeah. That's what I thought, too. No.
Something like
I thought it was, like, going to be Beauty and the Beast.
Nothing.
Like, he wronged a witch, wouldn't, like, give her a kiss on the cheek or nothing. But nope, he just flew in the air and then decided not to die. And that was enough for God to be like,
it wasn't
pig.
His time. Pig.
But it wasn't his time, but it was his time to turn into a pig.
As everybody in purgatory,
as everyone knows, if you get a second chance, if you have a near-death experience, you will turn into a farm animal.
Yes.
So he gets shot down. They both shoot each other down, so to speak. And what?
Well, they run out of ammo.
That's right. And so they land, and a la Ricky Bobby, instead of running to the finish line like that movie, they just proceed to beat the shit out of each other.
It then becomes a boxing contest.
Yeah.
This movie is so comical.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
They run out of ammunition, and then it just falls on, becomes a boxing contest with rounds, a referee, all of it.
The whole town is just really, it's like the town's economy is pirate base.
Yeah.
Because, like, even at the beginning of the movie, like, Porco has dealt with this pirate gang so much. I think it's the Mulatto gang or something like that. And they're just like, they're cheap. They're just going to land at another island and hope that this shit dies down.
Yeah.
And, but, they start, and I mean, like, in true fashion of Miyazaki, like, they are bruised, black eyes. And Curtis is like, you can't have Gia and Theo. And he goes, I don't want either of these women.
Well, he didn't know about.
Yeah, he didn't know that Gia loved him.
Yeah,
basically.
And that was the first time that you kind of saw this womanizer really flush them, like, almost embarrassed.
Yeah, he's just like, I never knew that somebody could care about me.
Yeah,
and then they fight, and.
Well, Gina comes in. They do a double KO.
Yep.
Though, and they're like in like knee-high water, so they do a double KO.
Yeah, they're underwater.
Gina lands her seaplane to tell them that the Italian Air Force is flying in.
Yeah, they're on their way because piracy is illegal. And bounty hunting is now also illegal.
And I'm guessing betting is illegal because the moment she tells, I think her words were, the Italian Air Force is coming in. So if you're wanted by them, you should hightail it out of here. And everybody leaves. Everybody.
It was almost like a house party where it's like, the cops are coming.
Cops, run! And everybody just books it.
And so, but Porco did wake up first. So he won.
He won.
And he gets the money and he gets the leave, and him and he sends Fio with Gia. And Curtis, ever the creep, it's just like, next time I'll ask you proper. And Fio's like, the answer's going to be the same. No, you fucking
you talking
almost 40-year-old penciled mustache creep. Get away from me. And Porco's like, Gia, you take her. She'll need to be with me,
Yep.
And then another thing that I love is he turns to normal.
You don't see it.
You don't see it. But he's like, let me look at you. Yeah, Curtis is the only one that really sees it. He's like, let me look at your face. And he's like, no, get away.
Yep.
And so they fly off.
So I guess it was a kiss, because Fio does mention, like, if I kiss you, like in that tale, the princess that kisses a frog, you'll turn back. And she snuck a kiss on him before she flew away.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think it's like he learned a lesson. Maybe he wasn't living his life.
Yeah.
He was living himself. So to me, I think he was living his life like a selfish pig. And even when this is all speculation, even when he like died, he didn't even, he was dying. He was trying to sacrifice himself in a way that was selfish. You know what I mean? He was like, no, take me instead. You've got that girl. He was taking his life for granted in the sense that he was trying to throw it away.
Yeah.
And so whatever powers that be was like, if you're going to act like a selfish pig, even in death, you get to live like a selfish pig. And so when he did that, when he did Fia, like he was like, look, hey, I'm going to live my life, basically. Because, how he lived, he was alive, but he wasn't living. And that's why he was a pig. And when he threw Fio out and he was like, I'm not going to be a bounty hunter anymore. I'm not going to be a piece of shit. I'm going to live my life the way it should be lived. That's why he turned to normal.
That lifted the curse.
Yeah, that lifted the curse. And so even more so, Fio goes into this narration. She's like, I've lived with Gia. I lived with Gia for a few years. I took over my grandpa's engineering company.
Started her own, whatever it is.
Super successful. And it's like, and as for the garden, if she ever got that visitor, that's between me and her. That's a secret we share. And perfect ending for that kind of movie.
Ends.
Yes.
Does Porco ever reunite? Because she even mentions who knows what happened to Porco?
Yeah. Who knows what happened to Porco? No one ever saw him. I do like that. He wasn't pretty creative with his name when he turned into a pig. He's like, oh, your name's Marco. Just gonna go by Porco.
Yeah, like his human name is Marco.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like when he first turned into a pig, let's say if it was after he, went to heaven for that brief moment, he went back to the Italian Air Force and like he gets off the plane and they're like, oh my God, Marco, what happened? He's like, what do you mean? They're like, you're a pig. And he's like, what? And then you just in the background, they're like, ha ha, Porco.
Porco Rosso. That's true. They were Italians. They would have busted his balls.
Just someone busted his balls and it just stuck.
Yeah, but yes, God, this movie is good. Highly suggest it. For sure.
I enjoyed it. It feels like a Miyazaki film, but still a little different than like his normal films.
He actually, in the documentary, The Kingdom of Dreams and Madness, he called this particular film foolish. Because it's one of the few films that I guess he feels is directed towards adults. And he was like, when they asked him, why do you feel that way? He was like, I felt foolish because I made an adult movie for children. So he's like, this is too, I guess the whole fascism and, war-torn countries in the Eastern Europe, it's too much for a child to understand.
I did. Yeah, I actually saw a quote from him in an interview with American Anime and Manga Monthly. He actually said, commercially, it was a success, but it left me with a personal sense of regret. Porco Rosso is a product of the early 90s, and my world views being challenged by real world events. It's also the product of my resolve to overcome the challenge and build a stronger way of life, a stronger way of looking at things. Right now, I feel as though I understand my own philosophical conundrums a bit better than before, but the answer doesn't come easily to me. I am certain that my next work will reflect that.
Huh. What was his next work? Do you know?
After Porco?
Yeah.
I don't know, but this was in American Anime and Manga Monthly, so I think this was years afterwards.
Okay.
This was a reflection back at it.
Well, I believe it's time to go to your new reoccurring segment, Joel. Reviews that are big on the pig and reviews that crash and burn.
Ho, ho, ho. Andrew, this is sitting at a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yep.
117,000 reviews.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. So this is the 1-star review. It was the only one on IMDb too.
Interesting.
It's pretty lengthy, so just, stick with me. It's titled, It Sucks. A shockingly overrated piece of art as well as the mind-blowingly overrated piece of cinema, this movie completely fails to attract the viewer's attention in any possible or desirable ways, except in the sense of, when, for God's sake, is something ever remotely meaningful going to surprisingly happen in this movie, or shall I say an eye-watering, soul-sucking imitation of a desperate storytelling attempt movie? Way. Except for one particularly well-made scene near the third fourth of the movie, probably where the director had a look at Goodfellas and bitterly realized that his movie would inevitably fail, not also as a watchable work of art, but also as the war's most unwatchable one, and miraculously abandoned chasing the purpose started at least for almost 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Don't watch this, please.
What in this film reminded him of Goodfellas?
I do not know. This, the real Typhoon hated this movie in 2009.
Well, I wonder if he's changed his mind since then.
Doubt it. Highly doubt it. So this is let me find it again. So this is a 10 out of 10 titled Underrated. This one is short and sweet. Porco Rosso or Russo is one of Studio Ghibli's most underrated movies. Set in Italy between the world wars, the movie has just like the other Ghibli movies, amazing animation, music, and a story. It's fun and entertaining for all ages.
Agreed. Easy to find on HBO.
Yes, just like all the Ghibli movies.
Yep, all the Ghibli movies are on HBO. And if you would like to support our show so our Patreon can get as fat as a pig, You can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have the $5 tier that gets you stickers and pins mailed to your door, access to bonus episodes and extended audio. And the free tier has access to our Discord. But if you're part of the Patreon, you can get it part of the mega request, where your request goes to the top of the list. If you have a regular request, you can go to cartoondumpsterdive.com, or you can visit our store there. Get yourself a shirt. We are Cartoon DD on Twitter, Cartoon Dumpster Dive everywhere else. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, God bless you. And please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're listening to this everywhere else, please leave a 5-star review and something nice to say us, so we can escape the fascism of the podcasting business. I don't know. I don't know where I was going. That was an improvisation.
I like the start.
As soon as I said it, I was like, I don't know where the hell I'm going.
Where the hell am I going with this one?
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week.
See you.